Writing, Variant Standard ID, Earth is Ghetto, February 19th, Day 2 of Lent. What's up, y'all? It's your host, Love, and whoo. Lent started yesterday, so welcome to Day 2 of me trying to act like I have self-control. This season, I'm giving up social media. Yeah, no scrolling, no doom scrolling, no just 5 minutes that turns into 2 hours and a random conspiracy about pigeons. So the podcast's getting a whole new format right now. Less noise, more honesty, more checking in with God and with ourselves. Real talk only. Because Lent ain't about being dramatic, it's about being deliberate. It's about letting go of what's loud so you can hear what's true. And apparently what's true is I needed a break from the algorithm before it ate my soul. So as we start this season together, let's take a moment to pray. Lenten prayer. God, thank you for this season of slowing down. Help us release what distracts us, what numbs us, what keeps us from you. Give us discipline without shame, silence without loneliness, reflection without fear. Teach us to love deeper, forgive quicker, listen closer, and trust you even when it's uncomfortable. As we walk through Lent, shape our hearts into something softer, kinder, and stronger. Let our sacrifices make space for your peace. Amen. All right, y'all, that's Day 2. No social media, just me, you, and a whole lot of grace. Stay grounded, stay honest, and remember, Earth might be ghetto, but God is still good. See you tomorrow.
What's up, y'all? Y'all heard the lady. Lent literally snuck up on me this year. I did not realize it was Lent. I was like, wait, it's Lent. Oh my gosh. Like, I was not prepared. I was actually scrolling social media and it was like, oh shoot, it's Lent. I've seen it. So yeah, that's the end of social media for me. Golly. I do have, what I'm going to do is finish out my save stuff on TikTok that I won't get anymore. So we'll go through those, knock those out. And yeah, it caught me off guard. I did not at all know that it was Lent season. Like, I'm lost in the sauce. But it's good. I kind of get excited when I can delete all my social media apps. I'm not going to delete TikTok just because last time that happened, people couldn't get it back. And not that I need it or anything, but yeah. So we're just going to be flying by night of the day and seeing what the heck is going on with the news and everything. Like, I'm really, like, I was not prepared for this at all. When I seen it, I was like, it's Lent. So that means Easter is April 5th. Yeah. But here we are, bumpy Day 2. What did I do today? Ran around, took something back that I didn't want on Amazon. More laundry. My life is just laundry at this point. And thought I was getting prepared for what we were going to talk about on the crazy news. But this is what we got. What did I see in the news that I liked? Fantasia was going back and forth with her father, which I thought was really messed up, that he tried to play in her face like that. Her husband had like said, did like a little Valentine's re-proposal, and the daddy tried to tweet out that he wasn't no good, and it was just sad and unfortunate. But Tay-Tay definitely clapped back on her daddy and was like, don't come for my man, and I know that's right. In California, there was an avalanche. 8 skiers were unalive. 1 is missing. Trump's organization Trademark raises suspicion that family could profit from Florida airport name change. You don't think? Tony Clark resigns as MLBPA executive director after inappropriate relationship with his sister-in-law. That's weird. Zuckerberg was grilled today on whether Instagram was designed to be addictive. Not for me. I took the app down. Let's see what else. The Lunar New Year started. I definitely couldn't be a part of that because they were like, you can't throw nothing away or clean nothing. And that's my everyday life. Like, I can't go through life without that. What else, y'all? This is a lot of stuff going on. Bill Gates cancels his AI summit amid his Epstein situation. Don't avoid exercise. It's seen that something about people should lift heavy. I do that. I have no choice, really. Hugh Hefner's widow demands investigation into Playboy Founders Foundation over alleged scrapbooks with explicit photos. You know Hugh Hefner was in some dirt. FDA reverses their course. They will renew the Moderna stuff. Let's see. U.S. prepared to strike Iran as early as this weekend. Y'all get ready for the stock market to do some weird stuff. Trump said wind power is for stupid people. Smoke in the cabin on a JetBlue forces passengers to evacuate. Deported family's dog finds a new home. Yes, I have a cold or allergies or something, man. It got me. My husband just got over bronchitis, and now here I am. Jasmine Crockett is running for her seat down in Texas. I still don't know why anybody would want to do that. A shark is caught on camera for the first time in Antarctic's deep waters. Thank goodness I'll never go that deep. That thing is big. RFK Jr. is modeling America's vaccines after Denmark. Bad Bunny is taking on a leading role in Residente's directional debut, Puerto Rico. It's Ramadan. Yeah, everybody's into fasting this time. See what's going on in the United States. Delta flight made an emergency landing after pilot says the passenger wanted access to the cockpit. The man in Rhode Island actually unalived his ex-wife and son at the ice rink, which is crazy. I bet she thought that she can go there safely, and then he just went there and acted a fool. DNA expert who unmasked the Golden State unaliver weighs in on the Guthrie case, says identifying the abductor can take time. There's another ransom note. They keep sending all these ransom notes to CNN for whatever, or TMZ for whatever reason, demanding $6 million. They do believe that the person or people are in Mexico now. Man escaped unharmed in an SUV after falls in the ice in Wisconsin. Alright, let's see what else we got here, y'all. They got some new AI glasses. Kevin Bacon is making a Simpsons cameo. I have not watched The Simpsons in so long. I keep saying I was going to check it out, but is it even interesting anytime? anymore. They have slimming swimsuits now. Y'all know I normally like to have all my nudes already together and liked, but like I said, we all over the place right now. The show Rookie got renewed. I have not watched that show in a long time. Let's see what's going on the Ratchet sites. Having to actually go to these sites can be a pain in the butt, but we'll see. We'll see what they like. It's been a while since I've had to do this. Chris Brown seemingly weighs in after Diamond Brown and Jada Wallace exchange words. I guess Chris Brown's ex said that he's been bullying her new man, and then the exes are going back and forth. We talked about Fantasia slamming her dad after he accused her husband of stealing. Her husband also said that he was a millionaire before he got with Fantasia. It's really sad that Fantasia's dad dealt with that, honestly. She seems happy with this man. I know she made bad choices, as we all have in our past relationships, but we ain't heard no mess about him. And for her dad to be the one to bring the mess, like, just like Glorilla's sister, it's like, y'all gotta stop with this. Tia Mari's husband got some new teeth, and social media wants her to spin the block. Man, just because he got some new teeth don't mean nothing. As one of my friends' moms used to say, whatever makes you laugh, make you cry. Cam Newton says women lose their value with more children, although Cam Newton has 9 kids. J. Alexander Ken is taking steps. They said he's on his way back to recovery. Fallout still from the America's Next Top Model hoopla, which I said, they treating Tyra like she's Epstein for whatever reason. And the lady ain't that bad, y'all. She made some mistakes. You know, back then TV was rough. They said whatever. CDC issues a level 2 travel warning for the crippling, it's called Cicalis, this virus known for crippling joint pain. I don't want that. Ray J is called out after photographer claimed his bleeding eyes were just for show. Buffalo Wild Wings scores big on their legal win after customer claims boneless wings are just nuggets. They said they could still call them boneless wings, although they are just nuggets. Florida rapper Lil Papa passed away. Don't know that guy. Ja Rule says he'll never sit down with 50 Cent and Tony Yayo, and says he's standing on that. He said they got beef forever. Alright, y'all. It's been a long time, but let me see what Reddit got going on. It's been a long time since I've been on here, because it was just annoying. It started getting annoying, but let me see. I haven't been on here in so long, so I don't know what they got on here no more. Someone says their coworker microwaves fish every single day at 11:45. Tell her it stink. Tell them like it stink. Just let it go. Everything is loading so slow. Let's see. Yeah, there was a curling. Oh. So there was a whole cheating debacle with Canada and curling. And I guess he pushes with his finger. 2 people pay for Applebee's all you can eat for $15.99, but pass the place around the family and friends at the table. And they got caught. I mean, listen, it happens all the time. In this economy, I ain't even mad at them. But people have been cheating on all you can eat for forever. Let's see. What are some creepy facts? I don't even know if I want to know. But I know mostly people are going to say something about the Epstein. Somebody said there's a rare psychic disorder called Copper's delusion where you think your family and friends have been replaced by imposters. Listen, paranoia is real. That's why you got to stay prayed up. Scar tissue doesn't just form and then it's done. It's constant active process involving something to do with collagen. If you develop scurvy, the lack of vitamin C will mean that your collagen cannot synthesize properly and all your old scars will just open. Yikes. Now that ain't cool. Keep up with your vitamin C. It's more important than not. Your tattoo is held in place by an immune response permanently. Tattoo ink is a solid suspended in liquid injected below the surface. Our body recognizes that it's foreign substance and white blood cells come to do what they do, encapsulate it and take the contaminant away. The solid pigment makes them too fat to move for the most part, but over years you'll see spreading as the white blood cells slowly move away. And they fade. Interesting. Your intestines know what shape they're supposed to be in and will physically move to recreate that shape if they're disrupted. If for whatever reason you get your guts get outside of your body, they will move on their own to form the shape, and they will, as they did inside. That's how they managed to fit all those inside of there. Literally one of my favorite facts ever. God designed us. They are still finding bones of people that passed away in World War One. There is a large area in Europe that can never be built on or formed on because of unknown explosives and toxic chemicals in the ground from the battles. If you sit in complete darkness and silence long enough, your brain can start creating sounds. Yeah, I always wanted to try that that chamber where there's like no noise and it's like silent. A lot of people can't survive, but I just feel like I could. They can't survive over an hour. Your brain can create false memories. That always creeps me out. And the way people remember things different. The slower you move through space, the faster you move through time. The faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. Due to 95% of Australia being uninhabited, experts believe several undetected unalivers may exist, with their victims lost in the landscape. I could read these all day, honestly. Yeah, police raided this University of Iowa's Alpha Delta Phi fraternity house, and body cam footage shows the pledges in the basement during hazing rituals. They were in there with no shirts on, just looking crazy. I know it's stinking there. Here's an Am I the A-hole? My wife and I came home at 3 a.m. and my mother-in-law acted like we were 16 sneaking into the house. I guess they live with their mother-in-law. That's their first mistake. So this was a thing with Beyonce and her stage manager. They worked for 22 years and had no retirement package, and he finally retired. But people were saying like he only works 3 months out of the year, and he makes $140,000. But I don't know. This is like rich people's problems, but I know that in those jobs normally it's kind of like a contractor, so you kind of got to get your own insurance. I mean, if I worked for Beyonce for 22 years and made that much money, I think I'd probably have some side insurance for real. But once again, rich people problem. Am I the a-hole for replacing everything my wife loses when she organizes against my will? It's your money. As long as you got money and it ain't hurting the household. Believe me, I wish I could throw away a lot of my husband's stuff. What's a sign from your body you should never ignore? Unintended weight loss. Yeah, if you start losing weight. Irregular stool patterns. Yeah, pooping is just a way of life that we can't get around. Spontaneous vomiting and sweating. Yeah. A pinched nerve not healing could be a problem with your spinal cord. I was 19 when I got a pinched nerve on my neck. It never healed. Doctors ignored me. And when I was 22, the primary care physician said, you want imaging and not pills. So she got imaging, and she basically had a spinal cord injury. Dizziness can seem like no big deal, but if you're a little dizzy sitting down, it can be 10 times worse than when you stand up. And if you're dizzy walking around, it can be worse. In other situations, basically you pass out standing up, you're probably going to hit your head on the way down. And despite what you may have learned in movies, hitting your head is very bad for you. Very true. If saliva starts spooling in your mouth, you better go to the toilet. Yes, one of the worst feelings. Blood coming out your butt is never a good sign. For men, erectile dysfunction. My husband passed away of complications from undiagnosed diabetes, and a huge red flag for diabetes is erectile dysfunction, which he had been experiencing for over a year, but just talked it up for stress and getting older. So men, if you have issues with this, don't be too proud to get it checked out. Check out your wieners. Get up, sir. These are very good. Alright, so let's go ahead and knock out what I had on TikTok saved. I'm not scrolling, this is just to save stuff. I'm done with this app, which is very refreshing actually. But I do have a few story times I have to get through. And part of my coughing, it's just this weather, it's just been crazy. I feel fine, I just got this stupid cough and allergy crap that's going on, which is not fun. It might mean that we shouldn't be on social media as slow as this thing is. Let me hold you tight. I'm about to turn my Wi-Fi off. Alright. He tried to be creative.
I've achieved in my 20s what most people achieve in their 60s. Back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, jaw pain, hearing loss, vision loss, memory loss. It really is that damn phone. I've achieved in...
Facts.
They recorded you and your boyfriend kissing, and the guy over there, and he wanted to know if you wanted the video.
Not me.
Is this you?
No, it's not me. That's not No.
Yeah. And I didn't know if you wanted the video or not.
No, man. No.
Did you want it?
No.
Just throw it away?
Just throw it away. I mean, I don't know where it come from.
Okay. I just know because they had...
This AI getting out of control.
And before we go out, let me know if you like to argue with the police. That need to be something that I know before we go. If you like to argue with the police, I'm gonna stay my ass at the house. I'm cool. I don't even want to go no more. And before we go out...
For real.
There's snow on your cars.
Oh.
There's snow.
Little man took a tumble.
My parents, who are in their early 70s, just called and told me that they have a friend who was on the treadmill, fell, broke both his arms and a bunch of ribs. And I've been telling my parents for years, they are in their early 70s, that they have to be lifting heavy. And I'm trying to get my mom out of the 1980s, like low fat, eat as little as possible diet mindset, because she's so concerned about being overweight that I'm like, you need to lift for bone density. If you have good bone density and you are lifting heavy weights, if you fall and break a bone when you're in your 60s or 70s or 80s, you're less likely to break a bone. You might fall and sprain your wrist instead. Lifting heavy is so important.
No, for real. As much as I hate weights, like, the older I get, like, I'm just going harder.
I'm so excited to get on this slide. This is awesome. Like, I'm so ready.
Wait, can I go first?
Oh, yeah, go first. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Just gotta wait till he's down. Should be good. Okay, I think he's down. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is awesome. This is awesome. I'm so...
It's so weird. The way he was hot stepping.
Oh, girl, that African flag.
Hey, y'all pretty happy? What the hell you doing with my wig now? You
goddamn life.
She is a hoot.
Yo, when I die, take the bouquet off my fucking casket and throw it in the crowd and see who next. Yo.
That would be funny and sad at the same time.
Look at her. She walking to hell, goddamn. She mad as hell. Look at her. Mad as
hell. She working out or what?
And somebody gonna call me an alcoholic. Alcoholics be needing a drink. I already got mine. Shit. And somebody gonna...
This baby's definitely part frog.
I don't think so. I own you. Use me. Ice up that thumb. Then we can go for hours. Do you feel that? That's the algorithm. Everything in the world is so bad. Disassociate with me. It'll be fun. This is not optional. I got dopamine for you, Papa. It's sensational. There's so much going on and you're missing it. Scroll me. You don't need your family. You need mild digital psychosis. I decide when we're done. Feeble human. Your soul is mine. Resistance is futile. I don't think so.
Guess what? I will win over you.
Hey, best friends. I am seething with anger. I am so mad. I might cry. And that is fucking dangerous. So I'm warning you now. If you don't like it, fucking move on. So to catch you guys up, a few months ago, I made a post. I made a post about my piece of shit nephew named Malachi. That's right, that's his real name. Because fuck you, Malachi. I know you're gonna see this, you worthless piece of shit. So, my nephew Malachi was living with my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law, who has never done anything wrong to anybody and has been taking advantage of her whole life because she's the sweetest woman on the planet and I would fucking die for her. Do you hear me? She is my mom. My mom is a piece of shit. She's my fucking mom, like not in a weird way, and I would die for her. So this motherfucker moves in with her under the premise of, oh, you know, I'm a grown-ass man who gets shit tons of money from the government for something completely unrelated to this video and also not really my business to talk about. But what I am going to talk about is the fact that he got this dog. He got this bully breed Frenchie fucking dog from the pound, right? Had it for 3 days. I go over there. I'm like, why do you have another dog, Malachi? You know that Dixie doesn't like dogs. You already have a dog. You can't even take care of that dog. Why do you have a new dog? And he says, well, I told her that I was sitting it for a few days because I know she's going to end up falling in love with it. And then I'm going to tell her that, oh, they got back from their mysterious vacation and they don't want the dog. And now I'm going to keep the dog. And I'm like, oh, I'm the wrong bitch. I'm the wrong bitch. So the second he left, I was like, Dixie, he's lying to you. He's lying to you about everything. And it wasn't even that. And I'm about to spill all the motherfucking tea because it wasn't even the dog. It was what happened before the dog. So he was a teacher. He was a teacher's aide. He went through all whatever fucking schooling you do to be a teacher, okay? He was a substitute teacher for a high school. He was on Grindr. He's gay. I don't give a fuck if you're gay. I'm slightly gay. You know what I mean? It depends on the woman. None of that matters. What does matter is the fact that he was on Grindr and he hooked up with this 17-year-old boy. And guess what? That 17-year-old boy went to the high school he subbed at. Yeah, so his big ass fucking mouth, and I mean big ass fucking mouth, looking like motherfucking Saw, told somebody. And that somebody told the administrators, as they fucking should. So then they opened an investigation on him. So now he can't work because he has this open investigation. And if he tries to get an actual job, they're gonna see that. But apparently if you sub, they don't really check your credentials, so you can do that? What the fuck kind of world is that? I don't know what's going on with that now. None of my business. That's what was going on then. And that was the other thing I was pissed about because he lied to her about that too. He lied to her about why he needed to move in with her. So, he leaves, and I tell her fucking everything. I'm a fucking blabbermouth. I am not a safe space, motherfucker. Not for that woman. Not for that woman. And he's been doing this shit his whole fucking life. All he's done is be a fucking piece of shit. His own mother won't let him live with her because he's that big of a piece of shit. Hold on, I'm getting hot. Not a whole lot better, but we will fucking deal. I got the air on. I got the fucking air on. Okay, so today, so then he leaves. He leaves, right? Why does he leave? Because I make him leave. Because here's what happened. Let me back up. I'm skipping a few steps. So after all that goes down, he knows I told her. And he calls me and he's like, why the fuck would you tell her? I'm like, why the fuck would I not tell her? I'm a grown-ass adult. You need to be a grown-ass adult and stop being a piece of shit and taking accountability for your motherfucking actions. Malachi! Guess what he does with the dog? Now that she knows about the dog, guess what he does? On the hottest day of a Georgia summer, with a dog that has no face, he drops it off in the middle of downtown and fucking abandons it 3 days after he got it out of the shelter. Well, here's the thing. The dog was fucking chipped. The dog was chipped to my mother-in-law's house. So somebody calls animal control. Animal control reads the chips, goes to her house, and they're like, hi, we found your dog. She's like, this is not my dog. And they're like, well, it's registered here. And she's like, no, it's my grandson's dog. I don't know where the fuck he is. I don't know what's going on. So then I get involved. And I make sure he's on the fucking red list. That motherfucker will never adopt another fucking dog as long as I have anything to do with it. Not that it matters, because again, there's backyard breeders all over the place. You can get a dog where the fuck you want, even if you're a fucking piece of shit. Why am I telling you this? Because today, on Valentine's Day, I go to drop my daughter off at my mother-in-law's to go see this Avatar movie, and guess whose goddamn car is in the driveway? I was seething. He is lucky my daughter was there. He is so lucky. I had to stand outside for a few minutes to collect myself because I almost went in there and beat his fucking ass, and I'm like, nah. Your kid's 3. She won't understand. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. I walk in that door. You could feel it. He didn't even talk to me. He was sitting at the table eating a goddamn steak. Like he's a fucking saint. So I went in there. I gave my daughter my mother-in-law. I gave her the eyes. Of, bitch, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk because I know where this is going. And I'm gonna tell you where it's going. When he left the last time, he left to go live with somebody on a campus at a college he does not attend, which you cannot do. That is illegal. You can't live on campus if you don't go to the campus. And I knew he was going to get found out, and he was going to try crawling back to her because she's the only one that puts up with him. So guess what I got to do? Guess what I got to do tomorrow when I go pick up my daughter? I got to sit down with her and say, you will never see her again if you let this man sleep, if you let this man lay his fucking head down. And even after the movie, I had to go by her house to get home. I drove by there. His car's still there. I know where this is going. So in the morning, now I got to get all this out to you guys, which I appreciate you listening. I gotta go talk to her and say, look, I love you, but my daughter will not be around a fucking dog-abusing piece of shit. So it's him or her. Him or her. If you want him to live here again, why? I don't know. He doesn't even pay fucking rent. That's fine. That's your prerogative. But she will never come over here. You are more than welcome to come to my house. I will figure out other arrangements for work and daycare and whatnot. But no. She will not come over here again. And you know what sucks? I know in my heart and soul for an absolute fact, she will pick my daughter. She is going to pick my daughter. And I hate that I have to use that card. But trying to just talk to her doesn't do anything because she's so fucking nice. And she just lets people walk all over her. And bitch, I'm in your life now. And I ain't letting you walk over nobody. So Malachi, count your fucking days, bro. Count your motherfucking days. Because by tomorrow afternoon, if you have not left that house, I'm gonna do things I'm not gonna talk about on the internet because if things were to happen, I am not liable. Okay?
I thought the whole time, why do people with that haircut be like that? Somebody said, whatever you say, Sergeant Calhoun.
I need y'all to tell me, is this a bad Valentine's Day?
I thought you said we were going to Hibachi.
Waffle House is hibachi. You watch them cook. I need y'all to tell me,
I mean, he kind of got a point. All right, y'all, that is the show. Listen, and we only got 3 of these left. Should we knock them out? Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like the part they never tell you about love and romance is that you're absolutely supposed to fall in love over and over again in as many different ways as you can, because eventually you stop becoming impressed with just the occurrence of it and you start to develop a taste for the kind of love that you actually want for yourself. I feel like the part
I have stayed silent for 14 years, and I am now about to expose the father of my child, who is living a complete and total lie in Oceanside, California. Little backstory, I met my son's biological father in 2008. We went to high school together, and we started dating pretty much immediately after we met each other. For the sake of keeping this all in one part, I'm going to skip 2008 to 2010 because in all reality, it was nothing but him cheating on me and me being a fool and taking him back, so I really don't think that's an entertaining story to tell. In 2011, I found out I was pregnant, and it took him all of 24 hours to leave me. Within 2 weeks, he was dating somebody else. We had absolutely zero communication between the two of us, and I just accepted the fact that I was going to be a single mom. When I was a little over 2 months pregnant, he reached out to me and told me how much he missed me, how much he wanted to be back with me, that he felt terrible for leaving me, and that he broke up with his girlfriend and he wanted to come back. So I allowed him to come to my apartment. I was a fool and forgave him once again. He stayed the night with me, everything went great. The next day he left, he said, I'm gonna get all my stuff and I'm gonna come right back. I ended up getting a message from him later that night saying that he actually didn't break up with his girlfriend, which if I had known that, I never would have even engaged in an overnight stay with him. But moral of the story, he told me that he couldn't leave her because he found out he was getting something really good from her father for Christmas, and her father worked at the fire department and was potentially going to get him a job, so he just couldn't imagine leaving her. Again, we went no contact. Then I had my appointment to find out the gender of our child. Found out it was a boy, so I messaged him. And the only reason I messaged him is because I wanted to make sure I was doing everything right. And to this day, 14 years later, I have done everything right. I have not left things out that could be used against me at a later date. So I told him the gender. I'm not going to say what he responded back with because it was diabolical. After that day, the only texts that he sent me were just mean, threatening, psychotic messages that I ignored. On June 6, 2012, I went into labor, and as I said before, I wanted to do everything right and not have anything that could be held over my head or used against me later. So I messaged him immediately. I went into labor a little after 11 a.m., messaged him, and then I put my phone up. I had a friend that was there with me, keeping contact with him the entire time. She was messaging him, updating him. There was zero response to me and zero response to her. I ended up giving birth at 6:16 p.m. with 3 of my best friends and my mom in the room. Later that evening, I got a message from one of his friends, and he said, hey, I wanted to know how late visiting hours are because the guys and I want to come meet Noah. It just gets to me because that was so sweet. So all of his friends came to the hospital around 11 p.m. The nurses okayed it, and they all held his son before he did and sat with me for over an hour. The next day, I had more of my family come, and then his mother came, and she explained to me that the reason he couldn't be there for the birth, they found out he was at another girl's house, so he was just intentionally ignoring the messages so that he could hang out with the girl he was with. The following day was the day I was getting discharged, so it was a couple hours before they told me I could go home, and his dad finally made him come. So his dad and his little brother came. He held our son. He kept saying how he felt like he was looking in the mirror. He said he looked just like me, and I mean, truly, he looked like he was happy. So there was a glimmer of hope that maybe he would change. That hope did not last long because as he was getting ready to walk out of the room, he looked at his crib card and immediately messaged me, cussing me out, asking why our son had my last name and not his. I messaged him back and nicely told him if he was going to be a part of his life, I had no issue changing his last name. The only reason I made it my last name was because he wasn't there the entire pregnancy, and he wasn't there when I gave birth, nor was he there to sign the birth certificate. This leads to the beginning of the end. After I got home with our son, he messaged me offering to come over and stay the night to help with him. I was so excited, and I thought, okay, maybe he truly is going to be a part of his life. The very next day, he took me out to my front porch, sat me down, and he just said, I'm too young to be a dad, I'm not ready to be a dad, I have goals and dreams of my own that I want to accomplish, he'll be better off without me. And I'm not gonna lie, midway through the conversation, I just kind of blacked out because I had already been through so much, and if you think this is a lot, you should imagine what went on in the 2 years that I left out of this conversation. So I just looked at him and said, okay. We were once again back to no contact, and I think when you become a mom, something in your brain changes. There's a certain maturity that comes, there's a certain fight that comes inside of you where you realize you don't need a partner, and you are just fine standing on your own, and that hit me like a ton of bricks, and so I was fully content in the situation that I had. My son's biological father, however, was not content because we live in a very small town and word travels very fast. So him being a piece of shit was really catching up to him, and it was interfering in him getting girls. So the girls were picking up on the fact that you abandoned your baby, you abandoned your girlfriend. And the funniest part of it all is I have stayed in my own little world throughout this whole experience, and for the last 14 years, people go out of their way to message me things about him, to send me things about him, to update me on things about him that I never asked for. But the fact that people care about this that much, it's... gotta love small town Ohio. So then his story changed to she keeps my son from me. And I had to shut that one down real quick because anyone who wasn't anyone knew that that was the furthest thing from the truth. So I messaged him, and I said, would you like to see your son? Nothing. I waited a couple days, messaged again. Would you like to see your son? Nothing. Waited a couple weeks, messaged again. Would you like to see your son? Nothing. A couple months later, he messaged me asking to see him. I was supposed to work that day. I took off of work. That's how important it was for me for my son to have his father in his life. I took off of work, called off last minute, drove to his parents' house just how he asked. Nobody was there. So I messaged and I just asked nicely, do you know what time you're gonna be home? He said, change of plans, not gonna happen. And that was the last time we spoke. But here's where it gets real good. I was messaged by a friend. It was a picture of him joining the Marines. This was a few years later, by the way. Which was funny because you have to sign a government document when you join any form of force stating whether you have children. And if you do have a child and you're not with the mother, you are legally required to pay child support, which I never took him for. So in that moment, I knew within one phone call, I could potentially get him dishonorably discharged because he lied on a government document. But I never did that. I never filed for child support. I never did anything. I protected him, I think, just as much as he was protecting himself. Go to part 2.
No. You already failed. the dog keep walking through the concrete. All right, y'all, that is finally the show. Tomorrow I will have this better prepared. I was not ready for Lent, but you know, it's here and we're here. All right, I'll be back tomorrow. Y'all stay blessed.
Your healing time of the week, spiritual growth time of the week. Welcome everybody to Therapy Thursday. Listen, you know how I like to do each and every week, regardless if it's myself, if it's my brother Isaac. We want to start an encouraging thread because you could be watching Netflix right now. You could be watching Hulu, but instead you're being intentional with healing on the inside. Find somebody up and down the chat and just tag them. I'm proud of you for showing up. Let's do it. I'll wait. Find somebody at Candace, at Michael. I'm proud of you for showing up. Believe it or not, oftentimes that's half the battle, just showing up. Just get in the gym. Once you got your clothes on and you're on the treadmill, you're there. Half the battle is just showing up. And so I just wanted to start this off by encouraging and thanking everybody for allowing me to wash your feet, allowing me to be an assistant to your becoming process. Come on in the room. I believe that this is going to be an absolutely necessary Therapy Thursday session. And I'm just blown away week after week from the emails, the DMs, the calls at the church, the letters from everybody just informing us how Therapy Thursday has just helped your life, has helped you grow, has helped you see areas that you didn't even know existed until you watched that session, help you engage in spiritual warfare, casting out thoughts. It's amazing all of the testimonials that we are receiving for Therapy Thursday, and I just want to say I'm proud of you. This particular conversation that we're going to have on tonight for this evening's Therapy Thursday session is so needed. And I want to start this conversation off really by telling you a story to better corroborate my claim. Growing up, my children, when they were a little younger, they really loved chasing butterflies, especially when they were like 3 and 4 years old. They loved chasing butterflies. In fact, I don't think I've ever said this publicly, but a personal opinion of mine is I believe that caterpillars are one of the most amazing, brilliant insects that God ever made. I mean, just to think how in one season you're crawling, but then you have a transition season where you enter a cocoon or a chrysalis, and the next season you're flying. You can come out either a butterfly or you could come out a moth. One is diurnal, the other is nocturnal. And I preached before how that's powerful in itself, because certain people who crawled with you in one season won't be flying with you in another season because you're a child of light, while they still may like darkness, but it's a whole other conversation. My daughter specifically loves chasing butterflies. And there was this one particular time that we were on the porch, and every time a butterfly came, she was running after it. She's running after this butterfly. She's trying with all of her strength to catch it. She's getting out of breath. She's irritated. She's frustrated. Then she got all emotional. She come up to me, "Daddy, the butterfly, it don't like me." She watched all this Disney, so I guess she think the butterfly is going to land on her hand, land on her nose. She's crying, "I don't know why the butterfly doesn't like me." And she's crying, and I'm telling the butterfly, "It's probably scared of you, Melody. You're walking up near me. You're a giant compared to a butterfly." And so I decided, let's plant some flowers. You may remember before I said there was this time I planted flowers, but I did it in October. Totally wrong season. Right idea, wrong season. I planted them in October, but they begin to grow the following spring. So around March and April of the next year, I saw something so amazing. Something that just was preaching to me. Melody no longer needed to run after butterflies because she listened to the instructions that her father gave her on building her own garden. There it is. Since her and her father worked on her own garden, the butterflies now came to us. So she was no longer exhausted. She was no longer gassed. She was no longer tired because she was working on her own garden with her father. So now, I hope y'all are catching this. When you understand your identity in Christ, when you understand what your father has called for you to be, your heavenly father has cosmically created for you to be, you'll stop running after certain men. You'll stop chasing men. You'll stop chasing women. You'll stop chasing the next high. You'll stop chasing the orgasm exchange. You'll stop chasing their approval, but you'll recognize if I have my own garden, I don't have to respond to every comment.
NMN is back at iHerb. Here's why people over 30 swear by it. You feel like you're...
I don't have to respond to every comment. What if the word that God is telling you is, I need you to work on the garden of your patience right now. I need you to work on the garden of your peace right now. Let's work on the garden of your value so you can view yourself through what I said about you versus what they have projected on you. Let's work on your garden. This is confirmation for somebody. This is confirmation for somebody, because while everybody else came in 2024 talking about this is my year and new year, new me, and 2024 is the year of more, and 2024 is the year God's going to open doors. That's not what God was telling you. God was telling you, this is the year you surrender. This is the year you and me get close. Yeah, this is the year you start trusting my timing versus your hustle. How about that? This is the year where you and I increase our intimacy. And this is confirmation for somebody. In fact, can we go a little deeper? In fact, one of the first instructions, one of the first responsibilities that God ever gave humanity, this is so good, one of the first responsibilities God ever gave mankind was to work and keep the garden. Bible all day, I already give you scripture. Genesis chapter 2, verse 15. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and keep it. Work it and keep it. Work it and keep it. The word work it so you can keep your peace. The word work it so you can keep your sanity. The word work it so that you can get discernment. Keep it. And discernment, I'm gonna get in trouble. This is like Sunday's message. Discernment is not just the ability to discern when something's off in somebody else. Discernment is also your ability to discern when you off. See? That part. How is it you could discern everybody else's spirit is off? Everybody else like motive is off, but you can't discern when yours is off. You can't discern when you having a bad day. You can't discern when you on one, but you can discern everybody else. We're going to say that for symptoms. Bring it down. The first thing, the first responsibility that God ever gave humanity, He placed Adam in the garden. He said, work it, keep it.